So now that we have the Maschine controller set up and Massive configured with a bunch of good dubstep patches, we need a way to kind of quickly switch between patches. When I listen to dubstep, a lot of times what I hear is like a really huge bass sound for an eighth note, and then a weird chord for an eighth note, and then a scream for an eighth note. It's this quick alternating between sounds. Instead of kind of having a bunch of layers moving at once, everything is just these moments of time. And to do that, it's kind of complex. We need to record a bunch of different things, a bunch of different synth sounds, and then we have to go through and do a ton of audio editing to kind of piece them together. To make this a quick process, we can actually utilize Logic's comp features, which allows us to record the same 4 bars over and over again, and then use really easy tools to kind of switch between those takes and get the best little pieces of each and create this really complex moving bass line. The challenge here is I need to take one track and record it into another track to do this. And this process is called resampling. It's a technique you're really going to have to be comfortable with no matter what DAW you're using, because you very often just want to take MIDI and record it as audio in real time. To do this, I'll need to route my massive track to another track, and I'll have to utilize a bus to do that. So let's set up the tracks here. The first thing I'll do is make a new stereo audio track. Audio, stereo. I'll set its input to a bus, and I have a bus named Resample just because I use it all the time. It's such a necessary bus. It's there waiting for me, and immediately I'll record and enable the track. And name it. Look at my mixing board, and we'll see if I want to route Massive into the Dubstep Comp audio track, I just change its output to that same bus. So now we see at the Massive track, its output is Resample. My audio track's input is Resample. So if I play a note on this, I should see the signal in both tracks. And let's see, my Massive track is record enabled. I play something. We hear it, and we do see that the sound went out of the Massive track into the Dubstep track. And that'll allow me to record things in real time. Now, I've already actually put in the MIDI notes that I want to have. If I hit play, we'll just hear a really simple kind of dubstep bass. Let's hear a second of it. And it'll just loop over and over again. So because those notes are in there already, all I have to do is just play with macro controls and change patches. And as I record, it'll just make new take after take, and then I can edit between them later. The one other setup that I'm going to need to do here in Logic is going to control how the MIDI gets recorded. Because I need to have the track record enabled to play the macro controls, but there are already notes in the track, and I don't want to wipe those out. So I find the best way is just go to File, Project Settings, and Recording. And I like just to have this set, overlapping recordings. This is for the MIDI data, to say create tracks and mute and cycle record. Right, there's lots of options there. Yours might be something different. It's worth checking out the other options, but I find this one is the one that works best just for this process. Close that up, and then we can start recording.